as you said, Pascal, the Ukrainian war was dominating our meeting, our discussions. We, of course, are all considering what happened in the last 2 days with these terrible reports and images coming from areas of near Kyiv abandoned by the Russian troops. You know that President von der Leyen announced this afternoon that we set up a joint investigation team with Ukraine to collect evidence and investigate war crimes and crimes against humanity, and that the Commission will support, together with the Ukrainian judiciary authority, these efforts. From our side, the answer is clearly the need to strengthen our unity and to increase our response. This discussion was mostly on the economic consequences of this war, and as you know, we have an impact of the war in the European economy, which is, I would say, obvious. If you decide to respond to a military aggression, not escalating a military war, but with economic and diplomatic means, you have to surely take into account the fact that you will have an impact. Impact is contribution to inflation. You know that inflation reached 7.5% in March, and this figure includes a large dispersion among member states, going from a few countries that have around 5% of inflation in the euro area, and others that are that have double-digit inflation. Energy remains the key factor of inflation. In March, the energy component of inflation was 44.7%, coming from 14th month before. So in January 21, it was negative. So in 14 months, from negative inflation to 44.7%. However, it is also clear that inflation is becoming more broad-based as the effects of the war add to pre-existing drivers of price rises related to the effects of the post-pandemic recovery. Last point on inflation, we of course expect the possibility of second round effects, but we don't see at the moment very large second round effects. War is also exacerbating pressure on supply chains, and this is also putting new pressure on prices, and are putting on the table the need for, in several sectors of supply chain reorganization. It will take time to strengthen trade links with other partners. It may be costly, but we need to reduce our strategic dependence from Russia. Overall, I think that we will continue to track the data. The first hard data reflecting the impact of the war will be the preliminary GDP flash for the first quarter, available at the end of this month, and they will be factored in our spring economic forecast, which I will present on May the 16th. It is obviously clear that the 4% growth we projected for the euro area beginning of the year is out of reach, but it is too soon to say at what extent this figure will change. This will depend on several aspects and mostly on the duration of the war, the possibility of increasing supply energy problems, and confidence factors from investors and consumers will be crucial also to define this evolution. The message is that we have to work to ensure that our economies navigate these troubled waters, keeping agile and responsive fiscal policies, and implementing national recovery and resilience plan, because this is key to supporting confidence, and we need this more than ever. The message is that we came from the pandemic with an economy in rather strong footing, and we still have not only the recovery and resilience plan, but a lot of potentiality in our economies that, despite the crisis and the deep consequences of this crisis, should be there, and we have to work to keep there going. As Pascal said, we discussed the digital euro, the relation, the right balance to find between ensuring that users enjoy a high level of privacy, which is crucial to build trust, and mitigating money laundering and terrorism financing concern. And it is clear that a completely anonymous digital euro is not desirable, but this is a topic that requires further work at technical level, but the Commission is working very fruitfully with the ECB on this aspect. On housing, we had an interesting discussion based on a note offered by my services on the developments on the market. Between 2013 and 2021, house prices in the euro area have grown by 40%, more than incomes, and by far outpacing inflation. Half of this increase occurred during the pandemic. This acceleration was not driven by cheap credit, like in the run-up to the crisis of 2008, but by low supply. So the key issue today is not the risk of downward corrections, but rather affordability, which of course has important economic and social implications. So this is clearly a very important topic to which we will need to return. Finally, we had our regular update from the chair of the SSM and SRB, the smooth management of the banking sector issues that emerged from the Russian invasion showed the value and effectiveness of the EU banking union. We now need to further improve and to agree on a work plan for the completion of the banking union, and again we fully support Pascal's determined efforts to achieve this goal. Thank you. Klaus.